Let me see. I think my. Oh, just wait a second.
So, hello
Let
and
me.
welcome, dear listeners. Welcome to the Healthy Waves. Yeah. This is a podcast where we bring together experts from various fields to discuss the diverse and intriguing topics. I'm your host Avik, and today we have a special uh, group of guests, and where we will delve deep into the realm of embodiment and sexual sovereignty. So, joining us are two extraordinary guests, Daniel Packard and Hao Motsune. So, who will share their unique insights and the experiences. So, welcome to the show, Daniel and Hao.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you
me.
so much for having us. Go ahead, Khao. You talk first.
Lovely.
Thanks for having us. I'm happy already. I met Daniel, and I love the energy. So I guess you did a great work picking us today. Thank you.
Well, I like your energy too, Khao. And, in this industry, this $1 trillion industry of personal development and therapy and spirituality, there's a lot of people that can talk the talk. But, as we know, there's a gap between the talkers and the walkers. And a lot of people can fake it, but what you can't fake, I don't think, or it's harder to fake, is energy and joy and magnetism.
Yeah.
And I will say how I can feel it in you. So I believe you know how to be free of things because I can see it in the joy and the glow in your face. But also, I'll own my greatness. I feel, and people have told me, I've got a certain something that we all want: self-love, joy, confidence. And sometimes when I tell people, "Oh, why did you decide to work with us? Was it my amazing talk? Was it the incredible theory I laid out?" They said, "No, you seemed happy and confident, and that's what I want. So I'm all in." So I think both of our energies are beautiful and rare and complementary. And so it's an honor to be here, Avik, to share how others can get what we have, because that's what we want. We want to share and help and heal.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So, thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Hao. But before we delve deep into our discussion today, I would love to quickly introduce you all with Daniel and Hao. So, Daniel, our extraordinary guest is from UC Berkeley, a mechanical engineer who has spent over like 10 years and over dollars, like $100,000, trying to overcome anxiety, low confidence, and procrastination. So, dissatisfied with merely managing his struggles, he founded Full Liberation Technology. So, after 8 years of rigorous research and testing with over 3,000 people on 5 continents, he and his team developed an innovative process that boasts a 90% success rate in helping people achieve permanent freedom from what holds them back. So his groundbreaking work emphasizes results, with clients paying only after they see the measurable improvements. So his journey and the methods provides promise to bring invaluable insights to our discussion today. So also I'd love to introduce you all with how. So how is an APMG change management certified expert known as Freedom Illuminator and Embodiment Queen. So, with a background in accounting and an impressive linguistic reporter, she has dedicated the past 7 years to helping the individuals break free from generational toxic patterns and tap into unwavering self worth and the confidence. For her personal journey, marked by racial injustice and separation from her children, has fueled her mission to empower others. So her story is definitely unique, unique ability to tune into energetic fields and facilitate the profound personal transformation makes her an incredible addition to our conversation today. So, welcome to the show again, both.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. And I just realized something. Both of our titles or the names of our company have the same word. How has freedom, and we have liberation. And that's not coincidence. So
Exactly.
it's nice to meet you, fellow inner liberator. But it also speaks to, the engineer in me. When I was struggling for so many years, it was, years. And like you said, $100,000 trying the workshops and the coaches and the gurus and the ashrams and the ayahuasca and the therapy and it all sounded good. It all sounded like it should have worked. But I'm an engineer, and after all these years, I looked at the results, and they weren't great. I was still struggling with the anxiety, procrastination, people pleasing, perfectionism, and low confidence. And I started my company because engineers are good at innovating and problem solving. And I said, what if I could use my engineering training to reverse engineer a system that's more mechanical and reliable, such that instead of managing these things, your audience already has tips and tools to manage. That's been done. But we wanted to see, could you be free of it in a system that was consistent, meaning if you just work the steps, you get the results. And we pulled it off. We have a 90% success rate. And because we care about results, we only charge at the end when you get results. We're the only company in the world that does it that way because we get results. But when I looked back on the industry and I looked at all the things I tried, I said, that person didn't know enough to get, just in the language they used. There was one coach who said, I'm going to help you overcome fear. And it sounded great, right? Ooh, overcome fear. Yeah. But looking back, even if you get a tip or a tool or a strategy to overcome fear, it sounds good, but guess what? It's not good because the fear's not gone. You just overcame it in the moment, which is better than nothing, but it's still there waiting for you. So if you have to overcome a hill, okay, but the hill's still there. And so it didn't occur to me what we really want is freedom. And so you really have to know your stuff if you're using a word like freedom. So I want to appreciate you because we don't want to overcome fear. We don't want to shift our mindset because our mindset will just go back. But freedom, that's a very higher offer. It's what we all want. And it takes a wise person with a lot of experience of what doesn't work and what does work to even understand the importance of freedom and offer it. So thank you to you, Hao. But also, yeah, we're both on the right track. People don't want tips and tools to manage. They want freedom. That's what they want.
Exactly.
I'm just in awe of what you're saying. Okay, continue, Avik. Sorry.
No. Hao said she was in awe of what I'm saying. So let's. I want to be awed upon. Go ahead. I'll take the appreciation.
Yeah. I just love you. I love you, and I love what you stand for, and most importantly, who and what you're being. Because we live in this world where, like you said, it's more like I'm gonna give you tips, tools, how to hack, and all that. But the most important thing, like you say, freedom. And where is freedom? Freedom is found in who we being. Even if you're facing that mountain, the question is who you being to know that, okay, fine, this is a mountain, and I have that trust in me that I can still go through this mountain. And like you said, I just love what you say, because it's very true. It's different, and this is for me when I'm talking to people to say you need to heal and embrace who you are. It's coming from, of course, we can look at what is happening out there. We can look at, like you said, you spend a lot of money working with different coaches, promising you all the good things and all that. And it's not only in the coaching industry, in the healing industry, it's in life. I can meet somebody and they can tell me all the good things. I love you and all that. And it's quite interesting because I find still the same thing working in the coaching industry, where there is this love bombing. Oh, you are magnificent and all that. They're saying all these great things. But on the other hand, if you are present enough, you can discern that I can hear what you're saying. It sounds so flipping good, but it doesn't feel like it, you know. So even when it comes to business, it's still the same thing. Who are we being to discern when somebody's telling us all these great things about deals, for us to say, yeah, it's tempting, it sounds good, but when I tap into my body, something is off, because we always miss that until something has gone wrong, and then it's kind of like, oh my god, I didn't know this, I thought this. Where were we? Because we can give you information and all the red flags, because that's what is out there, like these are the red flags and all that. And what I find, what is happening with that is that it keeps most people stuck in the mind, instead of being like, for instance, when I come and connect with Avik and Daniel here, I don't have any preconceived notions of who they are, or it's kind of like I'm just gonna be present to see how we're gonna connect, what is it that is gonna come through. And for me, this is what life is all about, because life is relational. If you are not able to be present, you're gonna miss on connecting with people on a deeper level. And when it comes to relationships as well, even like all those sexual making love and all that, it needs presence. And it's also one of the qualities that is needed in leadership, and not leadership just in the boardroom, but who we being even at home, because we are always leading somebody. Our children are looking up to us. Who are we being for us to lead themselves? Because for us to be able to lead somebody else, we need to lead ourselves.
I want to, Avik, it's your show. I want to respond, but it's your show, so I'll let you respond.
Please.
Well, first, How, I want to appreciate you for two level. We're just having a little love fest. How and I are going on a little date. Avik's kind of just sitting by. Before I make a comment, I want to be delicate. So I lived in South Africa for 2 years working with addicts, and there was an experience that I experienced in South Africa, but also I was told through people from other African countries, that's just the African continent. So I want to make a comment on you, How, as someone from Botswana, but I want to be sensitive. I am a white guy talking about African culture. So do I have your permission to make a comment full of love?
Please.
Okay. I always like to be sensitive because these are sensitive times, and we want to be mindful of ignorance and pain from the past, but also honor. So I always wanted to live in the continent of Africa. I wasn't quite sure where. And the reason was, well, two reasons. One is, growing up, anytime I was around African-American culture, I just felt happier. I felt happier, more seen. It was like two versions of me. And it was it was like the Incredible Hulk, but backwards. I would get around African-Americans and I would feel so much happier and more joyful and confident. And and then I was talking to someone and they said, I traveled all through Africa, and in Africa, they have a definition of love that as a European person or someone of European descent, you don't even know exists. And I just said, oh my God, I'm going there. I want to feel that. So I went to South Africa, and part of that was the research of this system. We wanted to work with a lot of people and build a prototype of the system that would get people free of things. But we needed people to work with to test and optimize the toolkit and the steps to make sure. So the South African government found out the work that we were doing, and they have this national response to mental health and addiction. So they said, well, you're getting better results than we're getting with the other things. And they sent me hundreds of people to work with so we could really work on the system and optimize it. And we were getting these incredible results where instead of managing the pain and managing the addiction, people were quitting pot, heroin, and other narcotics and alcohol quickly and permanently.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring it up is because when I was I helped people from all over the world. When we were developing this technology, we worked with addicts in South Africa. We worked with monks in India. I worked with entrepreneurs in Europe, in the US. I worked with athletes, and we worked all over. And each culture, as a trend, responds differently. So when Khao was talking, she said, I love you. And that's not a fluke. It's the way the African continent appreciates is from such a deep, it's like God is in their body and you feel it. And so when I was when I would work with Europeans, European entrepreneurs. I would help them be free of low confidence in about 8 weeks. They'd have their life back. Their marriages would improve. Their businesses would accelerate. And they'd say, thank you. Thank you so much for the help. And I'd be like, fine. When I was working in South Africa, when I would help someone, they would say, you are a miracle. You are a gift from God. God has sent you as an angel to earth, and we respect you as God.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, that is a whole different level of appreciation. And so I'll never forget that. So when you said, I love you, it reminded me of that deep love that, tends to show up more in countries from Africa. So that was my appreciation. Did that feel culturally appropriate?
It does. And with someone who has been living here in Germany now for 10 years, and I still remember even when my children moved here, that was like something that they were struggling with. I remember my daughter telling me, I love you, mommy, but I don't think I can live here because we are open, we are loving, we express, we share how we feel, but and especially I know there are other European countries, but I feel like Germany is one of the worst where people are closed. So it's one of those things that it's hard. But the good thing is I got to find that peace within me. And one thing that I love, even one of the practices that I just love, is going out there. I love looking people in the eyes, which is also one of the things that it can be interpreted as someone has a crush on you or whatever. Like you said, telling someone that I love you, especially the opposite sex, it's always misinterpreted, and we're afraid of opening up and sharing that. Looking at someone in the eyes is also something that is not accepted. But I love to do it as just as an act because it makes me happy. So I'll just make an intention. I'm going out. So when I go, I'll meet people. I don't care whether it's couples or whatever. If I meet you and look in the eyes, I just smile. I feel good because I connected with someone in that particular moment. And it doesn't matter whether you are an old person, homeless. And at times, some people just stop and just look at me. I get confused, like, what is it? Does she want me or something? And it doesn't matter. If they interpret it like that, it's okay. But for me, it's kind of like if somebody's feeling like that, it made them feel good at that moment. And for me, that's my gift to you. And my purpose is done, right? So it's appropriate. And in other countries or other side of the part of the world, they can misinterpret that or feel like something is not right with you. But I feel like this is where we need to go. Because when we embrace that love within us, it's easier for us to share that with other people. Otherwise, we continue the same thing that has always been happening, the separation, the fear. We lived in that for a long time, and we don't need to continue the same thing over and over again. This is why there's so much sickness. There's so much separation, even though we think we are connected, because we are not. We are operating this right and wrong, you, them, that, and we can't go on like that. When we connect to that, knowing that we are loved, we get to share it. And I just love the energy that we shared. Like you said, when we met, it was just that. And one thing that also tells me it's the balance of both the masculine and the feminine, the playfulness that is there at the same time, and also just embracing the other side, because we all have that. But if you are holding into labels of, oh, I'm a man, I get to behave like this, I'm a woman, we are missing in the connection that is meant to be there, and just getting to know each other, being playful, because it's easier to connect that way. It's like I've known you for many years now, but we just met in a few minutes just by being.
Yes. Well, you're absolutely right. It's the disconnection is what we need. And people kind of know that, we're too in our mind, not in our feelings and our emotions. What we found in our research was even if you know that, reconnecting is not so easy. People don't have a proper system. They have tips and tools. Meditation is temporary. You can connect with your body and your higher self, but it's temporary. You haven't fully healed the system. And it's not so the system we developed, it's not the theory, it's all the tools in one place and the simple step-by-step instructions, which heals your soul and spirit. And when that is healed, the end result is that you feel very safe. But before I go into how we did that, I want to say in the continent of Africa, that connection of mind and heart, it's in the culture. It's already there. So if you walk up to a German person and you say, you need to connect your heart more, they're like, that's just like asking me to visit the moon. But it doesn't surprise me that someone from the, Botswana or the continent of Africa, in the culture, you're already in the body, already connected so you can show people how to do it. For me, I was disconnected and had all this pain because of it. And it was a lot of work and energy to engineer a way back. Now, the value is I now know exactly how to take people who are disconnected and in pain in their bodies and heal them, because I had to find and understand how to reconnect. But the world, I've always said this in the US, white culture gravitate towards black culture because black culture is already in the body for the most part. Again, we're talking in generalizations here, but look at the music, okay?
Yeah.
White people, for the most part, what music do we sing? Pop, pop. It's up on this pop. And what's black African American music? Rhythm and blues, rhythm in the body, or the blues. That's sad. That's feelings. So white people for the most part are so disconnected from their bodies that then they have to listen to black music to be reminded of where the love and the soul is. And so for me now, yeah, I just live there, but it's what the world needs, but it's not so easy to be there permanently. Now I just live in the heart. And I'm able to do that because our process really removes the fear. It heals the fear out of your nervous system. Your nervous system is your body's natural threat response system. And we were never taught how to take care of our feelings and nervous system. So when the nervous system isn't healthy, you feel unsafe. It's just your default. You feel unsafe. When you feel unsafe, you feel fear. When you feel fear, the fear then turns into anxiety, perfectionism, people-pleasing, procrastination, and low confidence. Those aren't problems. Those are symptoms of one thing, which is fear. But we realize you don't overcome fear. Fear is your nervous system is unhealthy. It's just a system in the body that never got the care it needs because you were disconnected from it. And over 6 weeks, you have the tools and the system to bring your nervous system back to health. And when your nervous system is healthy, you feel safe. When you feel safe, you now can reconnect with yourself. But also when you feel safe, the fear goes down. When the fear goes down, the anxiety goes down in a way, the procrastination goes down in a way, the people pleasing, it's just gone and it never comes back. So not only do I now live in my body and I'm present, I'm always in my heart. I love you too, Hao. But my anxiety, procrastination, people pleasing, low self-confidence, perfectionism, it's gone. That's why it's called full liberation. I'm free of it. I don't have to shift my mindset or do a mantra or write "you're enough" in lipstick. I'm like a kid again, and it's because reconnected to the body, which is where the fear is coming from, originates, and healing the body. When you heal the body, the fear goes down, and when the fear goes down in your body, the fear goes down in your mind.
Exactly. That's lovely.
I love I love all of that.
I'm really enjoying the discussions you both of you are doing. Like it's really uh, somehow it's definitely touchy as well, and it's truth. It's the true thing. So hats off to both of you.
Thank you. I love what you shared, and it's quite interesting. Like you said, when I look at where I come from, even the work that I do, there is, for instance, I always say my work is experiential. As in, like, people always want me to tell them, okay, fine, tell me what is going to happen, because of this is like who I am, how I grew up. This is the gift that I was born with. It's different from for instance, when someone to say, okay, fine, this is all the information, because I just know when I work with someone, I get to step into the auric field and I get to know everything. It's kind of like when I'm clearing all this, eventually someone, I can feel when someone is finally in the body, and when I connect and someone is disconnected, I can feel all of that. And I love the most important thing that you shared, which is one thing that I keep on saying: meditation is fantastic. Connecting to all light beings and all that, it's fantastic, but it's not enough. It's not everything. We don't honor who we are, as in, like, because even when you're talking about higher self, people think I have to go outside to connect to somebody. But what I've realized, even the time when I was just going through my own process, there were times when I would be in meditation and it felt good. I would, because I saw travel, I would leave my body and travel and meet all these amazing things, and it felt good. And then from there, I come back to my body, and it's kind of like this big expansion. From there, I didn't know how to navigate that because I'm here. I feel like I'm disconnecting from something, so it's not expansive. I felt every time when I came back into the body, I felt depressed, like something is missing. I want to go back there. So if you are addicted to me, this is what I want to say, addiction can be, yeah, even something that somehow sounds good can also be something that makes you not functional, because you may be feeling good in a meditation, but then when you go outside there meeting people, it doesn't feel good because you don't know how to relate. And you may also meditate and it feels good, connect with all these light beings, but when it comes to your own life, as in being safe in your body, like you mentioned, and also creating whatever that you desire, you are not able to do that. And I always emphasize this: you cannot give birth to what you do not conceive. For us to give birth to our desires, for us to give birth to being here, we get to be here. The same process, when I look at life, whether it's creating the desires, it's the same process that it takes for a woman being pregnant and nurturing that child, going through those labor pains and giving birth to that. So when you go through it, you still know it's the process, but at the end of the day, you know the outcome that you desire, and you also know that you have the capability to go through that. And one thing that I love, even when I look at the labor process and all that, we always come back into the body, breathe. We rely in the body for us to go through that. But when we look at people, we are here, we don't breathe, we are not breathing in our body, we don't feel safe, we are not connected. And I love what you said as well, because when people are talking about, oh, I want love and all that, my question is just simple. What kind of love were you exposed to as a child? Because that's what we crave. Our mind might be telling us, this is why I don't even trust the mind. Our mind is telling us, okay, fine, I know my worth and all that, and I'm looking for somebody who is all the stories. But at the end of the day, when two people come here, that emotional available partner and the unavailable one, you're gonna navigate towards someone who's not, who has that same fear that you have, the one that your nervous system craves, the love that you know. So we get to work on ourselves to be able to hold space for ourselves, because even when it comes to pleasure, to joy, for us to know that we get to give it to ourselves, for us to even feel safe and have the capability to receive all that desire, it starts with us. But often we want somebody to give us something that we're not willing to give ourselves. Like you said, even when it comes to mindset, I remember there's one guy that came through the other time, and he was, I don't know, confidence coach or something, mindset. And the moment I connected with him, the whole left arm was numb. And I was like, what's going on? And I started sharing him what's going on. And he said, oh my God, I'm glad you're saying that, because yeah, I've been to the doctor. I know that something is not right. And the doctor said he couldn't find anything yet. So I just decided to increase my insurance. He has the mindset. And actually, how I felt the moment I connected, I felt like, when you just pressing the accelerator on a car and it's just about to crash because the other parts of the car do not work. So that's how it felt. There was no brake or anything. I was spinning the moment I connected with him. And that's how he was working through life, because he worked too much on the mind. The mind knows that this is what I have to do. This is why there was now high functioning anxiety. He's focused on, I have to make money, I have to do this, but it's coming from fear. I do not feel safe. And at the core of it was a little child who experienced, like, they were living a great life. The father had everything. Then all of a sudden, the father was sent to prison. So from the little child, since then, it's kind of like, if I don't stop working and I try to take care of myself, I'm gonna lose the money like my father did, and I get to also do it better than my father did. He's living in old stories, and he's not even aware, because now there is a risk of him leaving his child small, like repeating the same thing that happened to his father. So we need to look at this, and even when you're talking about whether I'm just gonna say this. Some people may get triggered, but the religious system, political system, educational system, medical system, all these systems, they're teaching us who we are, who to be, how to feel. So we trust outside there, but not ourselves. You may go to a doctor, and if the doctor says there is nothing wrong, you flipping know something is not right because you are not feeling okay. Can you trust yourself and find other ways rather than saying, yeah, but the doctor said it's not fine? It's not okay. So we don't trust ourselves. We're not connected at that level that even if someone comes and say, okay, fine, take this, is going to heal you, but you know that it's not okay, you're just going to go ahead with it, especially when we look at the systems that we were conditioned and programmed to believe they know better than what we know.
I can't disagree at all. All of that was on point, and I'm glad you're sharing that wisdom with the world. And to add to that, to bring that to more people, so what Khao just shared has a lot of value in it. And what she's pointing to, which helps, is sort of what the problem is. You know, why people struggle. If we're in the mind, how we're learned to be loved as children. And it's all true, what she said. It's what is the issue, what the problem is, and also what would be better if we were more in our hearts and more. And that's all true. And not everybody has the same what's. Some people's what's aren't as effective as other what's. But either way, I want to, for your audience, when I went looking to heal and be happier, I got a lot of what's. I would go to a retreat and this, teacher would say, well, the problem is you don't believe in yourself. And I would say, wow, that is the problem. I don't believe myself. Thank you so much. And they'd say, you need to believe in yourself. And I'd say, oh, that's such good advice. And I would think it was really, really helpful. But then I didn't believe in myself. I went to another coach and this coach said, okay, we're going to help you, be the best you and be in your heart. And the problem is you're in your mind too much and not in your body. And I said, that's so true. I'm in my mind and not my heart. He's like, yeah, what the problem was. And I would try to live in the heart and fail. I would try to be in the present moment. I would try to not be in the ego. I knew what the problem was. So there's a lot of very wise, insightful people who know what the issue is and what would be better. But we wanted to help people in a way that hadn't been done. And what's missing primarily in this industry is the how. The actual how do you then become this person or be the way you want to be? You want to know, we're not given the how. That's way more complicated. So it's like, what we spent 8 years developing, most of your audience already has an awareness of what the problem is and what would be better. But awareness, I call it like a flashlight. Imagine you're stuck in a cave, which is your life, your patterns, your beliefs, and you're stuck. Awareness is like a flashlight. And a flashlight's kind of helpful if you're in a black cave. It puts light and you know where not to bang your head and you know where the flat part is to go sleep, maybe where to get water, maybe where the warm parts are, maybe where to avoid certain animals. If you have awareness of the cave that you're trapped in, it helps. But awareness doesn't get you out of the cave. You still need a plan of the tools and the instructions and the map to escape. And that's what we spent 8 years developing, was the how. And I bring this up to your audience because I didn't know this. I kept getting the what. I would learn the what. I'd read the book and I'd be like, I need to be in the present moment. And then I would fail. And then guess what? I would beat myself up and think there was something wrong with me because I couldn't do the what. And what I want to tell your audience is the reason you still have these patterns is not because you're broken and it's not your fault. It's because most of the experts that you trusted to help you, while well-intentioned and told you insights and awareness of what the issue is, they most likely didn't give you an effective, measurable, reliable how. That's what you need. When you have a broken leg and you go to the doctor, you don't want the doctor to say, hey, let's explore this broken leg. Let's look at your mindset around and look at how you're focusing on the pain and you're focusing on your broken leg instead of your healthy leg. And let's look at your childhood. No, you want to go in and you want to repair your leg so you can get back to dancing. That's what we all want. So awareness has its place, but I would just keep getting awareness and nobody gave me the how. And I explain that, so your audience knows and is mindful when you go looking for help, see if they have a how. Not just what. What is overrated, I believe. It's a flashlight, but you want an escape plan. And also, if they have a how, ask them if it's going to work or not. What's the results of what you do? We're engineers, and when we developed our how, our system, we measured everything. As you go through our program, you're measuring every day how you're feeling in either anxiety, perfectionism, people-pleasing, low self-confidence, you're measuring and reporting your data. And we're measuring your results because we care about results. But also when we were developing the program, we didn't just have these theories, we were testing it and getting results, because that's how you build a good system, a good how. You got to test and prototype and calibrate. So I bring this up, A, to let your audience know awareness is great, but if you don't have a how, if you don't have an escape plan, you'll be stuck in that cave, gaining more and more awareness and never leave. Trust me, I know. But we spent 8 years developing this measurable, step-by-step, easy-to-follow system that's the escape plan, and it gets results. And the reason I know it gets results is when you work with us, we don't take your money at the beginning because we haven't gotten your results. Because we know our program works with a 90% success rate, we only charge you at the end when you get results. And the reason I say this is we're the only company that does it. And what people want at the end of the day is results. And it's hard to prove to people that what we do gets these great results. And there's a lot of people that overpromise and underdeliver. But there's 1 million coaches and therapists on the planet, 1 million. And not a single one lets you pay at the end when you're free of it measurably. But we do. And we do that because A, it's the right thing to do. You should only charge people if you get them the result they want. But B, because what we do is so innovative, people think it's too good to be true. So we say, fine, be skeptical. I understand it. You've had this your whole life. It feels complicated. You've been burned in the past with people saying they could help you and they didn't. Be skeptical. But if you only pay at the end, when you have measurable results that what you're struggling with is gone and not coming back, then it creates a bit of hope, because smart people will go, wait a minute. The only way they can back up their results is if they're getting results. So I can't be sure of the program, but I know they're backing up their results, and it gives people hope that they don't have to spend a lifetime gaining awareness in the cave, that there's an actual escape plan to get you out of the cave to get real freedom. So I want to be clear in the value of what we do. A, if you've been stuck in the cave for a really long time, it's not your fault. It's because the people you trusted weren't equipped and trained and focused on getting you out of the cave quickly. That's why you're stuck in the cave. You're not broken. You can get out of the cave. You just need people who are focused on cave liberation, acceleration, and that's what we do. We give you an escape plan to get you out of the cave quickly.
Lovely. That's
I
really
love
great.
that. I love that, even about having a plan, because that's vital. You know, I don't have an 8-step plan. I have a 5 steps plan. And I remember meeting some people and they looked at it and like, are you sure this works? Because it's too good to be true. And that's it. When you know how to do something, people actually, they doubt, but the good thing is they doubt because of what they've been through. You know, it's got nothing to do with what you're offering. And with what I do as well, for instance, I've got people who, for me, I take money in front. It's different from what Daniel offers. I take money in front because I've met different people and people get results. It's different. Like I said, I've done it in 4 weeks with somebody who was supposed to have a surgery, and immediately when they went back to the doctor within 4 weeks, all the cyst and everything was gone. So for some people, there's some people who want work, and some people who take advantage of having the results quickly and all that. Some people, I still remember there's one lady who came through as well. Immediately, like the first session, we just went deep and did all this about the whole sexual abuse and all that. And because what she actually wanted was like, I just want a partner, I want to get married. And quickly everything accelerated and she got married and she pulled out. Some people are not really committed to that level, but at the end of the day, if at all your life can be good, let me say it can be orgasmic, because I'm aiming for orgasmic. That's the space that I'm holding for everyone, you know. But if you're gonna settle for good, good is the enemy of greatness. You're not gonna have that orgasm that we need, because you're gonna start just with the freedom of individuality, where we get into those ancestral stuff. You're not gonna go into the magnetic confidence. You're not gonna go into that sexual sovereignty. You're not gonna go into the embodiment. So I want people to commit and get the orgasmic bliss that I desire for people. And I love what you said about people knowing, like having an awareness is not a solution. That's key. And I always say, if you are aware of the problem and you don't get to do anything, awareness is gonna wear you like a crown. Because that's where you're gonna live. That's where you're gonna be creating everything. And it's gonna feel like nothing is working. I had one lady who I worked, actually, she just came to one of our masterclass, but major shifts happened. And she said, you know how since I started doing this work, I have been working with different teachers, and because especially with someone with background of addiction, you get addicted, you get a hit from that momentary bliss that you feel, but it's not sustainable. So there are people who are just addicted to working with one coach to the other, and it continues like that. And it feels like you are doing something, or it feels like you are doing better, but at the end of the day, you are not relying on yourself. You are not relying on your system. You can't hold space for yourself. You are just going ahead, going, and what I find with that is that also it scatters your energy, because you are not holding it here. You meet different people, they say good things, and then you leave some energy there. You just go, it's kind of like you are sleeping with different people. Because when you're talking about energy, like you said, energy can't lie. How many people are you letting into your energetic fields? What is it that they are doing? Are they really doing some good? Because if they're doing some good, you wouldn't be looking for someone else. You'd be trusting yourself and being safe in your body, because that's the key. You can't create anything if you do not feel safe in your body. Being in your body is key. Even if you can think that I'm going to connect to light beings, some people say I'll channel angelic beings and all that bullshit. You need yourself more than you need those angelic beings, because whatever that you are meant to do, even if it means connecting to those angelic beings, they won't do shit without you. So you need to be connected to your body, being fully here. That's when you can receive whatever codes that you are meant to anchor in this lifetime. So people at times, they're addicted to finding something. Even at times it's even running away from yourself. I'm looking to connect to guides out there, connect to angelic beings out there. And I'm laughing because at first that was me. I was just like, I want to connect to angelic beings. And looking at it was at the same time coming from like having a religious background. It was coming from, okay, if I get to do what everybody somehow accepts or approves, I'm going to be accepted. But hell no, I needed to accept me. And as I was going through that, it's kind of like I was losing myself. And the message that came through was just like, you need to go back to your roots. This is why I'm doing ancestral work, because this is who I am. This is the magic that I'm here to anchor. So at times you are running with what the whole world is running with, or what is acceptable in the society. But what is your fucking truth? This is what we need to awaken to, right?
Thank you for that. Avik, you haven't spoken in a while, and I want everyone to feel heard and seen. So obviously, myself and Hao will talk because we're so passionate and we care and we have so much to give. So we'll keep talking, but it's your show. Do you want to ask a question or tell me what you had for breakfast? I want you to feel seen and appreciated.
No, I was really enjoying the discussion was happening. So yeah, but definitely on this, I would love to ask one thing. Like both of you work with the clients, so to achieve that profound transformation, personal transformation. So how do you see that your methods are complementing each other?
Well, I don't know how is doing. I know her what is precise. So I don't know how it complements what she's doing. I can tell you how it's complementing other people who are who are helping and gaining and healing. What we do, it's not even how it complements, it's just what it does that's unique. What we did is, because we developed a system that's in the right place, we're in the body, not the mind. The mind is a symptom of the body. And one of the reasons people are still trapped in the cave is primarily what's available out there is primarily mind focus. Quiet your mind, change your mindset. It's called mental health. They've got the word, it's mind. Now, the mind is a problem. My mind was a horrible, mean person that wouldn't shut the heck up, and it'll affect you. The problem is, we looked at the results that the mind approaches were getting, and it's not solving anything. Modern psychology has had 100 years to figure this out. Anxiety's on the rise, suicide's on the rise, addiction's on the rise. But also Freud, the father of Western psychology, was a chain-smoking cocaine addict. Like, that's not great results. And so we said, well, maybe the mind is part of it, but maybe it's not the root cause. Now, that's an engineer talking, just looking. Now, Hao grew up in this. She grew up in knowing it was in the body. We had to get there through research. And what we saw was that fear originates in the body, specifically, as I said, the nervous system. It's mechanical. If you don't take care of the nervous system, like any system in the body, it'll start to malfunction. You'll feel unsafe. When you feel unsafe, your mind and body are connected. Your mind is a tool to get the body what it needs. If you're feeling hunger, you feel hunger in the body first, then the mind senses that hunger and then tries to find food. If you're in the jungle and you hear a sound, you'll feel fear in the body first, and then the mind is a tool to either figure out how to not die. So the mind follows the body. So you feel fear in the body first, because little things you do every day that you didn't know, you don't take care of your feelings and nervous system. So over time, your neglected nervous system is now out of whack and you feel unsafe and you feel fear. Then your mind senses the fear in the body and thinks there's a problem and starts going, oh, there's a problem. You're the problem. We better fix the problem. And the mind starts spinning. Now, if you don't know inner mechanics, it looks like the mind is the problem because the mind is saying negative, scary things. You feel crappy about yourself and you're afraid. It looks like it's the mind. But mechanically, it's not. The root cause is not the mind. The mind is a symptom of the actual root cause, which is the body. So to all you out there, this is why you haven't quieted the mind permanently, because it's a symptom. As long as fear is in the body, it'll spread to the mind. But also the beauty of going to the body is that the body is mechanical. The mind, nobody understands the mind, but the body is mechanical. There are systems. And those systems can go into disrepair, but they can also be repaired. You know, when I hurt my knee as a kid trying to impress a girl on the dance floor, you know, they looked at my knee, they took an MRI, it was a mechanical issue. They repaired my knee and I did physical, it was all mechanical. So when something is mechanical in the body, you can actually be free of it quickly. If you need a root canal, your teeth will hurt. But you don't have to live like that for years. You don't have to explore your childhood or mindset or believe. No, you just go to the dentist. They understand the mechanics. They have the tools and they repair your tooth. So by going to the right location and approaching this mechanically and seeing the part of the body which needs to be healed and giving you all the tools in one place, that's key. What's so effective about what we do is usually people get individual tools from an expert. You know, work on your mindset, work on your breath work on your self-love. It's sort of one tool. But if you want to heal something quickly, you need a set of tools designed to work together. But also, you don't just need the tools, you need the instructions. When I used to go try to get help, someone would say, well, you need to be in your body more. I'd say, great. They didn't give me all the tools and they didn't tell me, like, what do I do? What's the order? Like when you bake, you know, how much flour, how much sugar, how long in the up, you need the instructions and the ingredients. So the 8 years that we spent to make this more efficient, 6 weeks to be free of it, is all the tools that, one, we're in the right location, the body, and we're in a mechanical location. It's a system, nervous system. It's in disrepair. It creates fear. So we developed all the tools that you need, and this is the key. The simple, easy to follow, step-by-step instructions. What to do, on what day, in what order, for how long. And when you do that, what happens is the nervous system fully heals. When your nervous system fully heals, just like a bone heals, it's done. And when your nervous system is healthy, what you experience is the feeling that we all want. We feel safe. It's your default. You don't have to meditate to feel calmer. You don't have to change your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Your default is safety. And that gives you access to freedom. And some people don't even know what this is. I had a client come to me, well, many, but this particular one I'm thinking of, his name was James from London. He had anxiety, perfectionism, and low self-confidence. And he tried everything. Nothing worked. He got management and tips and tools. But he met somebody at a party who worked with us and said, these people are getting people free of things in 6 weeks. I did it. And you only pay at the end. And he got curious. And he said, I've been working on my anxiety and perfectionism and low self-confidence for years. How can you do this in 6 weeks? And I said, because we're just going to it takes 8 weeks to heal a bone. It takes about 6 weeks to repair your nervous system, and you'll feel safe. I said, if you feel safe, can you see how those symptoms would go away? He said, I haven't felt safe since childhood. I said, I know, welcome to the club. And he said, I would love to feel safe. And I said, I know, that's what we do. So he went through, and 6 weeks, it was about 5.5 weeks in, we knew, according to his data, that his anxiety was gone. No, it was down by about 90%. His confidence was up by about 75%. and his perfectionism was down by about 95%. He just was getting so much work done. He was so much happier. But I spoke to him and he said, Daniel, I just woke up feeling a feeling I've never felt before. I said, what? He said, I just felt safe. And it's not temporary. It's permanent. I get to keep this. I said, yeah, you don't have to keep working on it. You're free, man. You get to leave the cave. He's like, oh my God, this is what the world needs. And I said, I know. And because he felt safe, he could be the person he was. You can't be the full you when you're afraid. It's mechanically impossible. Fear keeps you from access to the best, happiest version of yourself. But when you feel safe, the fear lifts. And then he said, I'm the best me, but it's natural. I'm not working on myself. And he said, I didn't even know this was possible. So to your audience, I'm sure what I'm saying sounds good. Ooh, I want to be safe. I want to be free. But you don't know what that even feels like. I didn't know. Now I know. I like this energy you feel. This is not cocaine. This is the natural, excited enthusiasm of an authentic person who has no fear. But most people don't know what this feeling is like. So here's how you know it's possible. There's one group in this world, two groups that I know feel safe all the time. Our clients and children. Before children get scared, they don't have fear. You never see a 4-year-old that says, oh, I'm thinking of finger painting today, but I'm afraid I'll sabotage and I won't use yellow. Like, they don't talk like that. You'll never see a 5-year-old saying, I want to go to the park, but I'm really doubting whether people will like. No, kids are so open-hearted, authentic, loving, in the body. You don't get procrastinating 6-year-olds. Tons of energy. Sometimes you wish they were a procrastinator so they take a nap. The point is, if you're wondering what life would be like if you had a healthy nervous system and you were free of the fear, it's that version of you at 4 or 5 years old before the fear robbed you of the true you. The younger you, before you got the crap scared out of you and you disconnected from your body, was confident, authentic, curious, playful, tons of energy. That version of you is still in there. You just can't access it because the nervous system makes you terrified and doesn't give you access. But that version of you is still in there. And when we help you feel safe in 6 weeks, that natural, curious, open-hearted, confident, childlike version of you just comes out. And best part is, it's not temporary. It's effing permanent. So to answer your question, what we do is just much more efficient and fast and reliable. Everybody's helping kind of in the same ways. The value of what we do is the speed and the effectiveness, and that it's a guarantee. That's the value of what we do.
Lovely. That's really lovely. Great. So also quickly, I'll go to how for one piece of advice you'd like to share with the audience today.
Yeah, actually, but I wanna emphasize like what you said, because you asked about the methodology that we use.
Yeah.
And I use African ancient quantum medicine. And by that, what does that mean? When you I love what you said about who we are, that feeling safe, that orgasmic being is already within us. And here's what I would say, what is similar to what you do is that my focus in the body is in the body, your focus is in the body. And with my methodology, when we start to work together, I step in the body. I'm a human MRI. I'm also a psychic surgeon. So there is all these lots of tools and all that. For me, you don't need those tools because you're just gonna go default into who you are. I step into the body, I know where the pain is. And for me, I would say a little bit of a difference is that when I step into the body and knowing what is going on, where the emotions are stored and all that, when I talk about the inner child and all that, because it's more like a map. When I get into the body and having to have that conversation that is deeper, or the body sharing with me what's going on. If a child has been had, or the core of the issue is coming from there, I have inner children coming through. At times it's like I can be with Daniel and have his inner child come through. It's kind of like we're having 3 sessions, but it's the 2 of us. So that's the magic of this work. And at times there is a pain, there is all this fear. Is it really coming from you? At times it's coming from your ancestors. So when I trace all this, I go to the core of what really transpired. Which templates are you creating this from? Because often people are creating from the templates that they were born into. This is why even at times when I go into the name, when we have our name and the same name, our same name has been alive for many generations. What is it that it's carrying? So I go back there and find out what is going on. So I removed that immediately. Like I said, there's one lady I was on a call with, and just by shifting that immediately after the call, she said, I don't know what's going on. I just feel tired. And actually, she was like, I don't know if this is good energy because I felt tired. I said, you've been feeling like that for many years, but you are not aware because you have sort of like programmed your body to tighten up and fool yourself that you're feeling good. So when you come in from surgery, because my work, you feel it immediately. When you come in from surgery, you'll feel your body telling you that some shift happened. So this work, it works at a cellular level. And I'll just go a little bit again from what Daniel is saying, like talking about the child. I agree, and I also don't agree in terms of the child having the fear and all that, because I've worked with, I've actually even with my own child. When my child was a few weeks old, the moment I held into that child, the anger that was emitting from that little child. This is why I talk about what we were born with, because in my world, when I look at things, there is many lifetimes that we've lived, and at times we come with all this, or even the ancestral lineage, there is all these things that we come in with. So I've connected with children who are carrying this imprints from birth. But of course, we've got timelines where something's going to be activated at a certain time. Even when we look at life experiences happening, if you have this timeline, like when I get to 30, this is what an experience that is going to accelerate my evolution, then it's going to happen at that time. It has always been within. So this is like a little bit of a change, because I've worked with people who have not experienced sexual abuse in this lifetime, but when I connected, the inner child came through and showed us a lifetime where that happened. So at times when we say, oh, my life was always amazing and all that, I hear you, but what is the external telling you? Because it's not always fooling us. It's telling us, okay, there's shit going on, and you need to look at that, because everything is a projection of who we are. Whatever we create in business and relationship is showing us where we at, and we can either go external and blame someone outside or go within. So with my work, it's just like going in immediately, human MRI, what is going on where, and then I remove that. Whether you want to go to the doctor and check if all that is gone, which a lot of people do. So I believe even when people asking, should we work with like the normal medical whatever, of course, why not? If at all you went to do an MRI at the doctor and you come to me, or you come to me first and I'm telling you there is something here, go check it out, let's do the work, and then go check it out, and you find that everything has been released. So with your question, as like, what would I advise people? People are afraid of their emotions. They live in the mind, like Daniel said, but at the end of the day, emotions are the evidence of life. When you feel like shit, somehow you are not in alignment. When your life is like shit, you feel like it. But when you embrace your emotions, because we judge our emotions, even this whole positive living and all that, bad, right, wrong, and all that. But when you are in the body, it's not even, here's the thing, it's not even about negative or positive. You can hear a word, but your mind is gonna somehow react to that, because somehow it is not in alignment with that. You can be triggered by something positive, but if you are holding into positive or negative, you're gonna miss on the message that your body is sharing with you. Our body is very intelligent, and what he said, that what we see or what we often experience in the mind is just a symptom. It's very true. We go to the doctors, and here's the thing, even with one of the things that actually disconnects people from that sexual energy, the medication that we take, it causes that, it somehow affects our sexual energy, and because it has somehow programs the mind to create that feel good hormone from the mind and not from the gut, and it disconnect people. They just like kind of like, I feel good, but it's not permanent. It's just like here, you are not here in the body where you get to produce that from the gut. Yeah,
exactly. So we'll quickly, before we wrap, I'll quickly go to Daniel as well for one piece of advice for the listeners today.
Well, I feel conflicted because people love advice, but I'm anti-advice because advice is always tips and tools to manage things, and your audience has been tipped and tooled and advised to death. If you're stuck in the cave, hey, don't go into that part of the cave. There's endless advice, and it doesn't lead to getting you out. So I'm trying to change the whole paradigm of getting people away from tips and tools and insights and say, look, you can be free of this. If you take your car to a mechanic, you don't have to spend 9 years exploring your brakes. You can repair your brakes. You can repair your knee. You can repair your teeth. You can repair your nervous system. And you don't want advice. If you're having a heart attack from an unhealthy heart, you don't go while you're having a heart attack and say, do you have any tips and tools to help me with my heart attack? No. You want them to clean out your heart, and you got to change your diet so you can live a healthy life. So I'm anti-advice, anti-tip, anti-tool. One, it's well covered by other well-intentioned people, but it almost never gets the job done. I'm trying to change people's framework to say freedom is possible. It took an innovation. That's what we do. So the advice I would tell you, and most people aren't ready for actual change. They'll tell you they are, but they're not, because people are afraid of change. They've had this stuff for so long, you start to identify it with it. I'm a procrastinator. I have low self, like you have it, like it's a cootie or a spell that was put on you, or I'm an anxious person. So we identify with it, and of course we want to be free of it. But when I work with people and they find out what we do, they say they want change, but at the actual moment of, look, you can do our program, just try it, they'll sabotage it. And I didn't know what this was. And people said they unconsciously, they think they're not deserving. There's all sorts of sabotage. People aren't actually ready for change. So most of your audience wants advice and tips and tools so they can continue to stay trapped in the cave. They won't admit this consciously, but I'm talking to the person. Here's my advice to the people that we help with. We work with people that hear what I'm saying and they have doubt and skepticism. That is healthy. Nothing that I'm aware of in this industry measures your results and lets you pay at the end when you get results. What we're doing is innovative. And anytime something is simple and innovative, usually people are skeptical. So I get the doubt and skepticism. However, if you hear what I'm saying of, I go from the mind to the body, the nervous system is mechanical, I could repair the nervous system and feel safe. If I felt safe, the symptoms would go away. And I only pay at the end when it gets results. And I could be free of this. If you have that motivation to be free of this, it'll offset the doubt and skepticism. So to anybody out there that has struggled with anxiety and you know how to manage it and understand it and avoid your triggers, but you would like to be free of it so you could be consistently calm, wake up every morning looking forward to the day. If you want that, we can get you that in 6 weeks. If you're a procrastinator and you're working on the procrastinator and you're a recovering procrastinator, but you just want to be free of it so you can wake up each morning, get tons of stuff done, be in your purpose, be joyful, make more money, and be a better you you're proud of. If you want that in a short period of time, you come find us. If perfectionism, for all the people with low self-confidence, of which I was one, the best you can hope for usually is to manage it and work on it and improve it. And I'm telling you, I worked with a kid who was 23 who hadn't had a date in 2 years. And within 6 weeks, he asked a woman out without fear. She said yes. On their first date, he started slow dancing with her under the moon and then dipped her and gave her a kiss. And he said, Daniel, it was the best day of my life, partly because of what happened, but partly there was no fear in 6 weeks. So if that sounds good to you, my advice to you is come to our website. I like things simple. My name's Daniel Packard. For those of you out there who are actually motivated to be free of this, my advice to you is come to the website, find out what we do. If you're interested, we can have a free call and we can see if our program is a good fit for you. That's my advice. Do not follow me on social media. Do not. Okay, take action in the beautiful innovation we've developed. Take action. That's my advice to you. Take action, find out more about what we do for the right people that are motivated.
Lovely. That's really, really lovely. Great. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this insightful episode of Healthy Waves. So we hope, dear listeners, like you have found our discussion on uh, uh, the embodiment, sexual sovereignty, and all the journeys they have done, the Daniel and how, is enlightening and inspiring as we did. So remember that the true freedom starts with understanding, and addressing which holds you back, right? So if you are interested in learning more about Daniel's full liberation technology, please visit the website. I'll put the website into the show notes so that it will be much easier for all of you to reach out to him. And also for those who are inspired by How's journey and expertise, stay connected with her through her transformational programs and the insights. And do not forget to subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review, because your review and feedback definitely helps me to bring you more engaging content, more engaging and expert guests into the show, so that you learn something, you rectify your mistakes. So join us next time for another exciting topic and exciting expert discussions. So until then, stay healthy, stay mindful, and keep riding those healthy waves. Thank you so much.